For nothing is impossible with God. Luke 1 verse 37. Hey family, welcome back to Just for Jesus, your space for faith-filled stories that prove God still moves today. If you've ever felt forgotten, overlooked, or stuck in an impossible situation, this story is for you. Stay with me to the end, because what God did in the life of one homeless man will remind you that no one is too lost, too low, or too far gone for God to reach down and lift up. Marcus wasn't always homeless. There was a time when he had a steady job in construction. He had a small home, a fiancée, and a dream to start his own business. But life has a way of throwing storms we never see coming. It started with a back injury on the job site, then came the hospital bills, then the job loss. He tried to hold on, but the pressure became too much. Within 2 years, Marcus lost his home, his relationships, and eventually his hope. He ended up on the streets of downtown St. Louis, sleeping under bridges, washing up in gas station restrooms, and praying to survive the night. But every morning, no matter how broken he felt, Marcus would whisper one prayer: "God, I don't have anything left, but I believe you're still good." One Sunday, Marcus wandered behind an old church and heard worship music through a cracked window. He sat on the steps and listened for an hour, tears falling silently. Inside, a pastor was preaching from Luke chapter 1 verse 37, "For nothing will be impossible with God." That verse settled deep into Marcus's heart. It became a whisper in his soul, a truth he clung to on the darkest days. He didn't know how or when, but he believed that somehow God had not forgotten him. He carried that verse like a lifeline. One cold morning, Marcus rummaged through a trash can behind a convenience store, collecting bottles to exchange for a hot meal. As he reached in, he spotted a crumpled paper stuck to the side of a soda cup. He was about to throw it out, but something held him back. He stared at it and smiled faintly. "What if," he whispered, "God, is this a joke or a setup for something I can't see?" He kept it, not out of greed, but out of hope. He whispered again, "Lord, if this is how you want to show up, I trust you." That night, as Marcus lay wrapped in a tattered sleeping bag under a bridge, he heard someone nearby playing the radio. The winning lottery numbers were being announced. Out of curiosity, Marcus pulled the dirty ticket from his pocket. One number matched, then 2, then 3. He sat up. His heart pounded as he checked again. Every number matched. He blinked, he checked again. He had just won over $300 million. Tears poured down his face, not because of the money, but because he realized God saw him. God heard every prayer whispered into the night air. God had not forgotten him under that bridge. Here's the real miracle. Marcus didn't run off and disappear. He didn't post it online or buy a mansion. He walked into that same church where he once sat on the steps and dropped to his knees at the altar. The next Sunday, he stood up in front of the congregation, clean-shaven, clothed in peace. He shared what happened, not to brag, but to testify. "I didn't find a winning ticket. I found proof that God never forgets his children." Marcus used the money to launch a homeless outreach ministry. He built shelters, started job training programs, and partnered with local churches. He created a non-profit that now feeds and ministers to hundreds every week, and every person he helps hears the same message. "I know what it's like to have nothing, but I also know what it's like when Jesus steps in." Maybe you're not holding a lottery ticket, maybe you're not sleeping under a bridge, but maybe you do feel stuck, empty, hopeless. Maybe you've heard Luke chapter 1 verse 37 before, but today it hits different. For nothing is impossible with God. That's not just for people like Marcus, that's for you, right now. God sees you. He hears your quiet prayers. He knows your tears. And he has not forgotten you. He's still the God of miracles. He's still the God who lifts the lowly, who provides in ways we can't imagine. And sometimes he uses the most unexpected things, a trash can, a lottery ticket, a verse whispered in the night to remind us, I'm still here, I still love you, and nothing is impossible with me. If this story touched your heart, let us know in the comments. Type, God still sees me if you believe he's working behind the scenes in your life right now. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Just for Jesus, and hit the bell so you don't miss stories of hope, healing, and the power of God at work. And if you feel led, share this video with someone who needs to know God hasn't given up on them. Until next time, remember, no matter how impossible your situation may seem, with God, all things are possible.